What is up, Super League World? We're making up the show. It was a late call not to do Sunday. I suddenly became unexpectedly very busy. And now here we are on a Tuesday night. I've been to Derby and back to celebrate Aiden's birthday. 15 years old now is my little boy. Or not so little boy, as the case may be. So as Duggan's pointed out in the chat, Swindon won. I am buzzing with life right now. But being this buzzing consistently is extremely tiring. So I'm going to try and blast through a show. And normally when I try and blast through a show, you know what that means. There are red cards, there are goals, there are disallowed goals. There is all sorts of talking points. And this could be a 3-hour marathon. So let's not waste time. Let's get straight into it. No co-coms tonight as I try and blast through it. Without the conversation. So just a quick reminder of where we are. Last time out, these were the results. All still very tight. No one really getting a hammering, although the Stanley performance was impressive last time out. Vikings have the 8-point gap at the top. The group clustering for that sort of 5th and 6th place finish is as tight as ever it was. And there were results for I think all the teams at the bottom of the table, which was unfortunate for the likes of LSK, who just aren't able to even get the desired outcome when they get a result. You were watching Leicester win, were you, Alex? Good to have you back. I'm glad that we were able to keep a now loyal viewer. And I saw your tweet earlier. You didn't miss anything Sunday. There was no show. There was planned to be, but didn't happen. So let's dive straight in. And we are starting with Stanley. They're at home to Exiles. Last time out, Exiles drew 1 apiece away at Haggis. They are without Vincente this time. Zambrotta comes back into the team. Otherwise, it remains the same for them. As for Rose, they keep the tactic, but they've changed some bits. So Salihamidzic has come in since the last game. He is now a Stanley player. He goes straight into the 11 on this right-hand side. Seedorf moves from the right centre mid position to defensive midfield, while Savage, like his manager, has moved from the right wing-back spot into central midfield. And Salihamidzic got 41. Lovely. So first game of the night, Exiles in the blue and yellow kit. Not one that we commonly see. Stanley in their traditional red and black. Throw some predictions in the chat. England Dimble, who's just joined the chat. Throw some predictions in for the first game of the night. Let's see what we've got. Evening Mike, just in time. Good lad. Hope you're doing well, pal. And Stanley look like they've started quite well here. But as I say, that Fyfie gets his 5th goal of the season and gives the away side the lead. But there's Sigalko on the break. On the whistle of halftime, levelling things up. Not a game of huge chances, but effective forward play. Evening, Martin. I hope you're well as well, pal. Thank you for your offer. One of a couple to ask. Are you okay, by the way? Bad traffic. Yeah, so we inexplicably, and I won't go into the detail, we inexplicably ended up in Derby for a meal to celebrate my lad's birthday, and we ended up staying a bit later than I thought we would. And then on the way back, part of the motorway was like reduced lanes and stuff while they were doing whatever they were doing, so it just slowed everything down. It's only supposed to be a 40-minute journey from my house to where we were, and it took just over an hour, I think, to do it. So slowed us down considerably. Home team stats then. Robbie Savage not really enjoying life in his new central midfield position. João Pinto not at his most effective either. Another assist for Candea on that left-hand side, setting up the Sigalko goal. No yellow cards and no real conditional issues to report. As for Exiles, ratings very similar. Fyfie on a 9 after his goal. Zambrotta on a 5. Very, very rare you see that. And a couple of 6s in there as well, which is a little bit of a surprise. But in a game that's not really offered much in that first half, perhaps less so, I suppose, on reflection. Zambrotta, the only player on a yellow, conditionally. I do spy Figo there, dropping to 82. Might be a consideration if Rox is in the chat. Mike has already gone as is. Have I seen Rox yet? No, and I have a feeling he said he might be busy today. I will just give him an extra 10-15 seconds to be sure. Interesting game this, with where both teams are in the table. Obviously 7th and 8th, so huge for both to get the result if they can. Right, nothing from Rox, so let's carry on. Maka, the only person giving me predetermined instructions. We reached the hour, and there is Savage with his first ever goal for Red Rose Stanley, giving the home side the lead. And suddenly that changes everything in terms of how the flow of this game is going, and possibly what the managers decide to do. Still no yellow cards, a couple of 6s in there for Rose, but nothing worse than that. Still no conditional issues either, so there's every chance that that Mike's about to go as is. And the expected reaction to the Robbie Savage goal in the chat, you love to see it. Mike's saying it changes nothing, as is, please. For the benefit of Rox, in case he is in the background somewhere, Zambrotta still on a 5, really struggling out on that left-hand side this evening. Still the only player on a yellow. Nesta on a 6, Raul on a 6 as well. Conditional-wise, Figo dropping to 75. Again, may have been a consideration. Castroman, a like-for-like sub on the bench. So that is what you would have seen, Rox, if you were here. Evening Sting, who's been on a customer visit. And we resume the action. Davids goes in the book, and Fyfie levels things up again. Indeed, Mike, the debutant seemingly doing well on that right-hand side, with Zambrotta struggling. Got 3 minutes of added on time. Is anyone going to win this? It looks like Exiles are the most likely. They just can't put the ball in the net. and the game ends 2 apiece. Vieri twice pegging back Stanley, who took the lead. No, sorry, try that again. Stanley come from behind to lead and then throw it away themselves. Fairly even game, so a draw was probably the correct result. Just looking at the ratings, only João Pinto for the home side, not 7 or higher. Wes Brown on a 9 rating. Sally is brilliant at right wing back. And as for Exiles, Christian Vieri getting a 10 rating. Tomasi on a 9 himself. 6s for Raul, for Nesta, and for Zambrotta. That result really is great for anyone looking at those top 6 places, because the 2 closest challengers have both dropped points. Next, we're going to what could be an absolute cracker. Northern Bern hosting Sancte. Bern are without Montero, they're also without Rosso. And for the eagle-eyed amongst you, Gustavo Lopez has been recalled out the windiness of the reserves into the first team, but doesn't make the match day squad. Keane is back and Mourinho is in. Other than that, it is unchanged. As for Sancte, they are without 4 players this evening. So they make changes. Hagen comes into the defensive midfield and Dye moving out 1 position. Argel is back, partnering Stam, who takes the captain's armband, and back. Instead of playing in a front 2, he's now playing in an AM2. Michael Owen all on his own. Let's get predictions then in the chat for game number 2. Northern Bern versus Sancte, and an early yellow card for Keane. Not really a shocker, but not ideal. Duggan's saying in the chat here, the least confident I've been about a game in ages, and then wishes his counterpart the very best of luck. Bern do take the lead from Montella on 27 minutes. Approaching half-time. Bern look to have edged it slightly. Gatos, the latest to go in the book. And there is the half-time whistle. Match that suggests both teams have had chances. Neither team looking that effective in front of goal, though. We've got 50% for Bern on target and only 33% on target for the away side. Duggan has seen enough, though, to say as is. Looking at, it's all 7s with the exception of the goal scorer for Northern Bern, who, again, Ian has gone as is. Thanks, gents. That is arguably the quickest half-time we've ever had. A quick look at the stats here. Gatos on a 5. Again, something of a rarity, much like we said with Zambrotta. Let's go to 60 then, which we're already at, and absolutely nothing happened in that first 15 minutes of the second half. So we start with the home team. Ratings look fine. Only Keane in the book. And Carlos has dropped to 79%. Possibly something for Ian to consider. Although I can't really see that he's got sort of a like-for-like or obvious replacement. Evening, Kieran. You're right, pal. No, this isn't a derby. As for Sancte, looking at their ratings, Gatos still the only player in the book. Lots of 6s in the ratings. Fitness, though, not really an issue. GG switch with Q, no problem. And then GG for Gerardo. Back up next to Owen. Usual formation. Lovely, thank you. Certainly a bit more action since the tactical break in the second half. And how did he miss it for Sancte? A huge, huge moment for them, that. And they are having chances right at the end here, but failing to convert. And back with the last chance of the game, puts it wide. Northern Burn held on at the very end there. I mean, look at the amount of chances Sancte had. Very, very wasteful. Not even half their chances on target. Duggan might look back. And when you consider how unconfident he was, he might actually come away a little bit frustrated not to get there. I mean, I could just see the comments flashed up there. So many chances. Look at the stats. Montella, the match winner, getting man of the match. Tato impressed despite the result. And as for Sancte, not a terrible performance if you were looking purely on the numbers. But unfortunately for them, just not quite their day in front of goal. Ian saying, crikey, nervy that. We are poor at the minute. Really lucky. Really unlucky, Duggan. Good game. And he's saying that is Northern Burn to a T, ridiculously solid. They certainly will, Kieran. They certainly will. Next, we have Fulchester entertaining Foss Road Unicorns. Vieira suspended for this one. So Maresca comes in, swaps sides, so Gerard on the right. Everything else remains the same for Smut's team here. So Roberta taking the armband. Fulchester had to make an enforced change with Lucio being suspended. Materazzi comes in, and they have given me the same half-time instructions that these two will move up top, and Robin is to be replaced by Romario. Alex saying, come on, the Foss. If Leicester won tonight, it would make the perfect double for Alex if Foss Road were to get the result here as well. They are wearing that green kit again. Throw your predictions in the chat and let's see what happens in game number 3 of the evening. Certainly a lot more action than in the last game's first half. And Foss Road take the lead through Roque Santa Cruz on 19 minutes. Seems to be a night for the unfancied to be putting in performances, especially after the savage goal earlier this evening. Alex saying 0-2 is his prediction. And it's a red card for Kevin Hoffland. Now, I know Smuts isn't here. I haven't seen Dan in the chat. So, Alex, I suppose through default, you get to make the change. Do you go one at the back? Or do you sub on Helguera for somebody and change the tactics? We'll give you 60 seconds or so to decide. I'm not going to change anything from Maka despite the red because he's making halftime changes anyway. Let's see what kind of manager Alex would be with his tactical nous here. If it was me, given that they were winning and away from home, I wouldn't be going one at the back. I would possibly bring Chewy off. Oh, he's going none up top. Interesting. Uber defensive. We're going with that, I believe. If you just let confirm, Alex, that's what you wanted. Martin saying, how many assistant managers at the deformed ponies? We're nearly at halftime anyway, so I won't make Macca's changes just yet. And there is the halftime whistle. So let's make them now. So it was Robin off for Romario. Match stats wise, Fulchester have had more chances but failed to convert. And ahead in the key demographic, with the exception of headers, where they are level. Looking at their stats, Alex, who said, I apologise if they now lose. Dimble saying, I've seen crazier from the actual Foss Road manager previously. going over neither manager here so they can watch back and see what the ratings looked like. Yes, let's restart the game. Plenty of text again in this one as we reach the hour mark. And Romario it was goes in the book this time. Gattuso on a 5. He's struggling. Materazzi hasn't been great. Looking at the conditions, nothing much to worry about there, however. Martin suggesting Romario to the rescue, surely. As for Foss Road, just the only attacking threat on the pitch. Suffering, really. Oh, Maresca, not great either, to be fair. No discipline issues other than the red card that's already been actioned, and no conditional problems. So we shall carry on. "20 minutes left to go. Foss Road somehow have doubled their lead, and it is Enzo Maresca who had an accumulator on that Savage, Santa Cruz, and Maresca would all score in the same night in the Super League. Absolute scenes. Maka is not going to be happy when he watches this back. And there's the full-time whistle. And Alex has actually overseen a Foss Road away win. Rare as they come. And he also predicted 2-0, if I remember correctly, earlier in the chat. A whole host of wasted chances for the home team has cost them here. Smuts will be moist when he sees this. Mac is going to be so pissed when he watches this back. Stats-wise, they looked okay. Materazzi, not great. Gattuso did. We got reverses last week when Fulchester won with 10. Timble saying managerial masterstroke. Unbelievable. Hashtag Smuts out. And for the benefit of the man under pressure to be removed of his position, here is a look. Nigmatulin getting an unsurprising man of the match. Enzo Maresca with probably his first and only 9 in Super League history. We go to the top of the table now, and Vikings, who make a couple of changes themselves despite having a full squad available. Sikoviak moves from attacking midfield back into centre midfield. Nedved dropping to the bench. Brozek plays behind Henri. Jeremy's back into the DM line with Paredes moving over to the left-hand side. As for Dudley Hill, just the one change, and it's at left wing back with Volodenkov coming in dead 8, dropping out entirely. Let's see Dudley in that Oxford tribute kit away at the table-topping Vikings. See what this game has to offer for us. Yellow card dished out. Half an hour already played. Paredes, I believe that was the latest to go in the book. Can be quite difficult with Dudley playing in yellow to know that, but we have reached half-time. Alex does love that Viking team. We've reached half-time, 0-0. Fucking hell. Jesus Christ. I'm glad this is the middle fixture because things can only get better in the second half. Looking at the ratings, Vikings actually not doing too bad considering they haven't created anything. And of course, I saw that Duggan said that he is on sub duty for Jens, who understandably being an hour ahead is not watching this live. So he's gone as is. We go over to Dudley Hill. Saw Steve there just putting ha ha ha. Dimble saying first I was seeing that, what, neither side having an attempt on goal. Mike's saying horrendous this. What does Steve do, if anything? And he's gone as is till 60 as well. Thank you, Steve. First 8 minutes and a half go by with nothing happening. We're starting to get a bit of text now as we approach the hour mark. And there's a fine save by the Dudley goalkeeper. We reach the hour now. And the last chance before the break goes to Vikings. They fail to convert. Steelites is away kit, to be fair. Yeah, no, understandable. I'm sure it does look nice. It's just a bit Oxford for me, mate. That's all. Martin's saying, I'm holding the fort for the +1 hour gag this week. Then it seems you certainly are. Alex suggesting needs to get Hersey on. Paredes the only player in the book. Rating's not too bad. In fact, it's just Paredes lower than a 7. Conditionally wise, no issues to report for Vikings. Big players on 8s for Vikings, says Steve. And Duggan saying as is. Alex is commenting on X. Yes, we are. So through StreamYard, we not only do it on YouTube, but on the this is streaming out even on Super League's X account and my personal X account. Hence, Kieran, who was in earlier, was able to see it because I doubt he follows the Super League, but certainly does follow me. Let's go over to Dudley Hill, as Duggan has said, as is. 5 for Roy Mackay, 6s for Constantinu and Contra, so rating's not quite as solid as their opposition. Just Woodgate in the book. Conditional, no real issues to write home about. So let's see. Sorry, excuse me. Steve was hoping that was Churchtown, Kieran. No, I haven't heard from him for a while, actually. I might just drop him a message out of the blue and see how he is and let him know that you miss him, Steve. In fact, let's do it now while you make changes. Well, there's the changes. We'll do it in a minute. Salas for Mackay. Cat's trying to mute my mic. And then also gone Hersey for Volodenkov as well. Everyone listens to Alex these days. There we go. See if that has the desired outcome for the away team. 20 minutes to go. Vikings with the latest chance, but now Dudley coming forward. This could easily go either way. And there is the goal for Brozek on 80 minutes to give the league leaders the lead. And we're heading towards extra time. Did Dudley have that one big chance in them? The answer is no. And yet another win. It might not have been their most dynamic and entertaining best for the Vikings, but they got the result. Cafu man of the match for them. Notable performance as well for Baumer on the other side. So clearly the wings were very, very important for Vikings in this game. Steve saying, awful game, deserved loss. Vikings for the star. Could this be their year? We've got the Dudley Hill ratings on the screen currently. Just overall, it's not actually a bad performance by Dudley, but just not good enough when you're playing a team as good as the Vikings. We've got 3 games to go. Yep, 3 games to go. Stackington versus East Coast next. The home side without the suspended Ayala. Steve's saying he's going to have some fun from here on in. I get the feeling I'm about to become very busy. They have changed it up a bit again. They've got Rayed and Costa supporting Morientes with the Diag arrow as well. Mendieta continues in central midfield on his own. With, as I've mentioned before, this much stronger DM line, Chris Perry comes in for the suspended Ayala. East Coast have gone completely unchanged from the team that beat top of the table Vikings last time out. Game number 5 of the evening. Let's see what this one has to offer. Some plenty early text for Stackington, but now East Coast are starting to play their way into this game and remind the opposition that they're not going to have it all their own way. Hippier goes in the book. Oh, Alex, you'll make even more fans with comments like that. Lee Chun-so, what a player. We've reached half-time, and this one's 0-0. Again, limited opportunities, which is something of a surprise. Coast have had more, but both sides have only had the one on target. There might be some concern for Ross that the Stackington tackle percentage is so low. Looking at the overall player stats, Reyes and Morientes are just not seeing the ball, and they're supposed to be the two bigger attacking threats in this particular 11. No one below a 6, but no one above a 7 either, so just unfortunately very average by the home team. Coast, they do have an 8 in Sebastian Mendes and also in Luciano Zauri, but they have 5s for both D'Alessandro and Ronaldinho. Could that be a consideration? No conditional issues to report. It's an as is for Dimble. I'm sure I've seen Ross in the chat. Yes. So we will just, here we go. So it's Reyes off for Ebisand, 2 up top with Rui in the middle. No arrow, no problem. We saw Dimble go as is earlier, so we can resume this game. Did do that right, yeah. Nearly a great goal for the away team. All the pressure in the second half seems to be coming from the away team. Stackington had one flurry forward, which got them corner, but it's all Coast again now as we reach the hour mark. And what a good save. It said in the text there, Coast continuing to dominate. Steve Wright saying how all the managers feel on a generally twice weekly process. Go over to East Coast. Look at theirs. Zauri on a 9. He's having a good game this evening. Ross going as is. 4 times fortnightly. But we always go again. We certainly do. I know that as well as anybody. And Byron Bubb is coming on for D'Alessandro. Big change. And it's inspired the watching public. Half an hour essentially to play. Let's see how the change affects things, if at all. Stackington starting to, as we get to the end. And it's Sand. Has he won it? He has won it. I was literally about to say that the closer we got to the end of the game, the more Stackington started to play. And it was the substitute Evie Sand that wins it for the home team. Again, a side with wasted opportunities. Coast creating over double what Stackington did, but only having one more on target than their hosts. Shay Given picks up man of the match in a not exactly a blockbuster performance, but a very good performance. And Stackington's form has been really, really good. Mine celebrating for Evie Sand and Doug is saying coupon buster. Quite. Looking over at East Coast, after such a good result last time out, Dimble will be frustrated to have had this level of or this outcome compared to the performance again. Shay Given the signing of the season, says mine. Another comfortable win, says Ross. We are at Badgers versus Haggis next. I'm not 100% sure what's going on here. I know that Tato wasn't coming to the game, and then former Sloth boss Rob was in charge, and then I got a message to say that Tato will be in charge tonight. So I thought East Coast were the team to beat. They are one of the standard bearers in this division at the moment. But yes, Tato has confirmed he's very much in charge. Zanoni making his debut after signing from Red Rose Stanley. Haggis, their 11 remains the same. Yes, it does remain the same. Just an alteration on the bench, allowing Zenden to take a place upon it. So here we go. I believe the penultimate game of the evening, Badgers versus Haggis. Let's see what this titanic tussle of two of the league's giants can put up. First half looks to have been dominated by the home side, but they're yet to take the lead. And we get to halftime, 0-0. And again, another game where very few chances created. 3 between them, and only one of those on target, and that was for the away side. No one walking the disciplinary tightrope, no one's performance below the average line of 6, and no conditional issues for the Badgers to report, even though they would say that condition is a myth. Alex could not wait for Haggis v Badgers, and Tato's gone as is. As for Ian's side, lots and lots of 6s in there, with only Walter Samuel offering an 8. So interesting what Ian might do in this situation. Although I did see that he'd done his phone again, so he might not even be here. I will give him 15 more seconds just to do anything that he may want to do. But fire through some predictions in the chat as well for me. Second half, who we giving the win to? Who we predicting takes the 3 points? Tato going as is, and nothing from Ian. So we will continue on. It's all Badgers in the early exchanges of the second half. Yellow card for Desai. And Haggis take the lead through Del Vecchio. I would argue against the run of play, but this is the quality that Haggis have. They don't need to be at their best to be getting their best results necessarily. 1, 2, 3, 4 players on a 6 for Badgers at the hour point. Desai, the only player in the book. And also dropping to 77%. I know that Tato says condition is a myth, but I, for one, would be looking at that and thinking yellow card and the least fit, possibly a candidate to be withdrawn. In the meantime, as for Haggis, just the one player on a 6, and that's Robert Pires. Everyone else seems to be ticking along nicely. Pires again, also the one on the under 80% condition. So we've got Tato changes. Nicky Franco off for Agahawa. And Zizi on for Saviola. No problem at all. Nothing that I can see from Ian in the meantime. So let's resume this action. Half an hour to play. Badgers have made changes to try and get themselves back into it. Let's see if they work. It's Roberts with the latest chance. Very, very wasteful tonight, Badgers. Is it going to come back to bite them? And a win for Haggis. Badgers looked, they created some. Look how many wasted opportunities they've had. It was a half-decent performance, but they were just so wasteful. No worries, Tater. You're very welcome. Klompe did pick up man of the match. Simeone also got a 9 rating. Not a bad performance at all from Badgers. As I say, just very wasteful in front of goal tonight. When Ian watches this back, I'm sure he'll be delighted. And those ratings, not bad at all either. And that leads us to the final game of the night. And somehow, it looks like this could be... I know I said I was going to do it fast, but 42 minutes on the clock, and we're on the last game. Sloths hosting LSK, and Martin in charge of the Sloths tonight. Let's have a look at the opponents first. They make one change. Pizarro back in place of Tristan. Everything else remains the same. All right, no need to thank me, guys. It's the least I can do after stitching you up with no notice on Sunday. As for Sloths, they go to version 4, and I have to say this is my least favourite of Alf's versions of this narrow. I mean, we've got Smith and Mpenza here running into Trezeguet. We've got Rivaldo here, which I don't like either. But, you know, who am I to question Alf? He is on a maverick run at the moment. Lefropoulos will lead the side out for the final game of the night. Sloths entertaining LSK. With so many attackers on the pitch. I'm saying taking narrow to new levels. Absolutely. Yellow card. And Del Piero with a great chance, not converted. And Sloth score through a Dielson. It's 1-0, and it's 2-0. Zidane scores. No, it's been disallowed. Zidane does not score. That would have really capped off a night of unfancied goal scorers. Was Alf an ex-football scout? Yes, he was. He found a tactic that worked. What the fuck? 3 attempts for Sloths, 2 on target, 1 goal, 1 attempt on target for LSK, not scored. Looking at the rating, starting with the home team, only Emil Mpenza on a 6. He's not enjoying being in an attacking midfield. Alan Smith is on a booking. In other news, the sky is blue. Conditional-wise, no real problems for Martin to look at. As for LSK and for Jamie, we have a 5 in the middle there for Pablo Aymar. Fair few 6s dotted about. So a couple of 7s and 2 8s. No disciplinary issues, no fitness issues, just unfortunately a skill issue at this time. Martin's saying stick until 60, no worries. And I will just give Jamie a sort of 10, 15 seconds. I don't believe I've seen him in the chat, but just in case. In the meantime, obviously this is quite a late showing for me, so I will send the packs out when I get in from training tomorrow, ready for Thursday live show as normal, as is traditional. If you would like comms, give me a shout. and you are more than welcome to join me on Thursday. Sunday, I'm going to put a precautionary message out. There is every chance that there won't be a show on Sunday, as I am out. So there's every chance I won't be back in time to do a show on Sunday. But I will confirm that close to the time. Nothing from Jamie. Martin saying stick, so we go to 60. Free kick to the home side. And it is all Sloths at the moment as we hit the hour mark. They have dominated. If only that was the case, Tater. If only that was the case. We've got 9 for Taribo West. Doing well. Smith, still the only player on yellow. We've got a 9 as well here from Ronnie Onson, who continues to impress in this Sloths team. Conditionally wise, again, nothing. Tater. Again, to be fair, Ross, I can't get one person interested, never mind multiple. Saber, Foot and Penza, no worries. All done. And for the benefit of Jamie when he watches it back, still lots of 6s. Maldini and Bowyer in the book. No conditional issues really to write home about. Nothing below a 6, nothing above an 8. And that is Barthez, nothing above a 7 for the outfield players. Half an hour to play with this final game. Let's see what we can do. LSK are starting to play a bit themselves, but they need to be wary. Sloths are dangerous when they go forward. Pizarro misses a big chance for the away team, and this one peters out to a 1-0 win for the home side. It's not, I mean, I said because I wanted it to be a quick one, there was going to be all sorts of drama. This has possibly been the most lackluster episode of the Super League in a long time. So many teams underwhelming, undercooked, underperforming, and just not the spectacle that we would like to have seen. Ronnie Onson picks up a Man of the Match award. Are Sloths and Stackington in the playoff picture now? Asks Tater. Well, we will get the confirmation shortly. Solid from the home team. Distinctly average from the away team, with the exception of Kaluzhny on his 9. So here are the classified results. Badgers 0, Haggis 1, Fulchester 0, Foss Road 2, Burn 1, Sancte 0, Sloths 1, LSK 0, Stackington 1, East Coast 0, Stanley 2, Exiles 2, and Vikings 1, Dudley Hill 0. Mike saying lackluster, Robbie Savage scored, and Ian saying cheers. No worries at all. League table then. Vikings remain top. Well, obviously they remain top. They have a huge point gap. They are now 9 clear of second place Northern Burn, who are on 33. 2 clear of Haggis and Badgers, both on 31. A point clear of 5th place Sancte on 30, who have a 3-point gap to East Coast in 6. Stanley are also on 27, just below the dotted line in 7th. Sloths 8th on 26, very, very much in the playoff hunt. Exiles 25 in 9th. Foss Road 24, certainly not out of it in 10th. Dudley Hill and Stackington on 22. They're still possible with 7 games left to play, but they're going to have to really go on a mental run to get there. Fulchester 13th on 17, 5 points clear of LSK, who remain bottom of the table. Fixtures for Thursday: Dudley Hill entertain Fulchester, East Coast Stanley, massive game that. Exiles Vikings, Foss Road Sloths, big game really. Haggis Stackington, LSK versus Burn, and Sancte versus Badgers. That is also a huge game. We have got 4th versus 5th and 6th versus 7th on the same night. Thursday is going to be a cracker. It's been quick. It's been fun despite the lack of the lack of real drama in the games. And you are correct, Martin. Certainly is hotting up. Dimple saying, "How are we still in the playoffs? Put us out of our misery, please, someone." Take it from me, Mike, please. Again, if you want to be on comms on Thursday, do give me a shout. Packs will be out tomorrow when I get in from training. Thank you very much. I hope you have appreciated and enjoyed a Tuesday night makeup episode. We will see you again on Thursday. Good night.